Hello everybody, this is Jerry. I hope everybody is doing well. And first of all, I want to give a quick apology for everybody who was waiting for me to upload a new video to talk about the, at that point, upcoming new Metroid Dread trailer, like I promised in my last video 4 weeks ago. To be quite honest, I was very busy with work and life. I did make the video, but when I saw all the videos that were coming on YouTube, they were technically talking about the same stuff that I was talking about, and I wanted to stop and say, you know what, let's see what I can bring to the table that's different than what everybody was just talking about, like either reactions or the abilities or the stuff that we saw in that video. And I say I want to, even though the video was basically complete, I say I want to bring something new to the table and not just be repetitive. So with all that being said, what I decided to do is the following. I'm going to make 2 videos. The first one will be this one, which is about talking of my opinions and perceptions about Metroid Dread, the game in overall, not about theories and stuff like that, but about how these trailers have been getting a lot of people into the Metroid Dread Hype Train, people getting into Metroid games for the first time, how Nintendo is marketing this game, and other points I want to discuss. Then the second one will be a continuation of my Shouzo theories video, the first video that I posted on this channel, not only to update, especially theory number 2 on that video, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll post a link on the description down below, but also to expand into these theories now that we have more pieces of the puzzle, if I can call it like that. So without further ado, let's get into the first thing I want to talk about. Now that we got the Metroid Dread report number 7, we definitely got a bit more information about the Chouzos, especially the Chouzo waters that we're going to encounter on planet ZDR. But yeah, after I looked at all the report, and I also looked at the new overview trailer that Nintendo released, which is basically more kind of like a summary of what this game is gonna be all about, especially when it comes to playability and all that. I saw something that intrigued me, and is the special edition. They mentioned the special edition at the end of the video, and I was like, wait, does that mean that Nintendo is going to bring more special editions for people to be able to pre-order them? Or are they just messing up with us? I hope they do bring more special editions for people to pre-order. I think it's fair, especially those that are huge fans of the series and they want this for their collection. I was fortunate to be able to reserve it in store. Well, I didn't do it myself because unfortunately the day that I knew GameStop was going to start in-store pre-orders, I had an unfortunate situation, a personal situation that I had to take care of, but a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, covered me up and he reserved it for me, he pre-ordered it for me. The problem is that it's in Texas, so he will need to ship that to me as soon as he gets it, which means that I'm definitely buying more than 1 copy of Metroid Dread because I need to play this game day 0. I can't wait. It's one of those games I'm definitely going to buy more than once. And that definitely goes into the hashtag buy Metroid Dread topic. I definitely think this game will deserve that privilege of me buying it twice. Now, going into another point I wanted to touch base on, it's about what Nintendo revealed to us in trailer number 2. Definitely Nintendo is giving us more pieces of the puzzle for us to put together. And also another video that I might do, it's a video that will put all these images together, all these trailers together in the order that I think are going to happen in the game. Yes, there are other videos already on YouTube doing this. Although I had the idea right away after I saw the trailer number 2. When I watched those videos, I noticed that some of the order of those videos or those trailers were not exactly in the order I think they're going to happen in the actual game. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I think my idea is still relevant because it's another point of view, and just to give other, give people other points of view when it comes to how these pieces of the puzzle are going to be ordered chronologically, if that makes sense. So then on this trailer, we saw a lot of things that some people think that Nintendo showed too much. One good example is Kraid, or who we think is Kraid coming back, because it's either Kraid or it's either a clone or someone that's from the same species or something like that. And my opinion about this is that I don't think Nintendo showed more than they wanted. I don't remember any trailer from Nintendo in the past where they have shown more stuff that they wanted to show, or stuff that will spoil the game. Maybe, yeah, some people will have preferred to saw the return of Kraid by themselves when playing the game. I understand that. But I think that Nintendo, when it comes to spoiling the game too much, I personally don't think so. In the past, I haven't seen any example, at least from my experience, where they have done this in the past. Yes, definitely Nintendo is trying to market this game as much as possible, but I don't think they're going to do that or showing more than they should. I think they have shown everything they think they can to not only explain the game or what might happen a little bit more, but also to attract other people that were not convinced with the previous trailers, and that including the review trailer and the 2 glimpse of Dread videos that they released. I can give you one example. I have a friend that when he saw the review trailer, he didn't like it. He told me that it looked like very bland. He compared it with hospital food. He said it looks as bland as how hospital food tastes. But then when he saw trailer number 2, he was like, whoa, like I'm on the hype train right now. This looks freaking awesome. Maybe this game is so packed with information and lore that literally Nintendo can take the luxury of showing all these pieces that some people might think that can be considered spoilers. I don't think Nintendo did spoil the game at all. I think that if they went this far, it's because they have way more to show next. Then seeing all the reactions and how many people have been getting attracted into this game and a lot of people joining the Metroid Dread hype, I've been wondering what pushed people away from the Metroid series before all this Metroid Dread hype. Now I have seen multiple people streaming the 2D Metroid games to catch up before the Metroid Dread is released, and most of them are enjoying the Metroid games a lot. I mean, a lot of people saying that these games are great, and some of them even asking themselves, why didn't I get into Metroid before? I've been thinking about that. The only thing I can say at this point is that maybe Metroid games were a bit too hard or less accessible to casual players and therefore pushing them away. I have heard people that get frustrated when they get lost, when they don't know what to do, which is funny because it's one of the things that is part of the Metroid formula. It's letting the players to get lost and be able to figure things out by themselves. Although I need to say that games like Metroid Fusion definitely were holding your hand for way longer, and Zero Mission also did that a little bit, although it was a bit less direct than Fusion in my opinion, because Fusion was very tied to the story of the game, and therefore you will have the AI Adam telling Samus where she needs to go, although it won't tell you how to get there, it will tell you where you need to be and why most of the times. While in Zero Mission it was a bit more implicit. I think that even with that, some people just got frustrated about playing 2D Metroids because of the difficulty or things like that. Probably why they didn't find them attractive to keep playing them. But besides that, I don't think about anything else, because in my opinion, Metroid is one of those franchises where, except for 1 or 2 games, which I'm not going to get into that on this video, a lot of people are still beating to that horse. I don't want to get into that today on this video, but Metroid games usually are quality video games. They are quality in terms of content, playability, so many aspects. It's very hard to say that one Metroid game is bad. Even those that are bad, in comparison to real bad video games, which I can definitely give you a bunch of examples right now, if I don't going to, but definitely can, are good games. Even those that are considered bad among the franchise are good games overall. When it comes to people getting pushed away from Metroid, I wonder also about the selling numbers of previous games, to be honest. I've seen a lot of videos talking about, oh, the Metroid franchise doesn't sell much, etc, etc. I understand that, and I know that in most cases it is true. I mean, with Metroid Prime 1 for the GameCube being the one that sold the most, like around 2.8 million copies so far. But especially with recent Metroid games, and more importantly, Metroid Samus Returns, I doubt in the amount of games that were apparently sold when this game was released, I guess within the first year or so. They say that that video game sold around 500,000 copies, which is, you know, for most cases it's very low or low. But I wonder if Sakamoto mentioned on one of the interviews when Metroid Samus Return was released that the continuation of them making Metroid games will depend on how much this game sells. I've been wondering if Metroid Dread is happening, and what Sakamoto said back in, you know, like 4 years ago is true, why is Metroid Dread a reality? Especially a project that was cancelled 2 times. Why is it a reality? Did Nintendo and Sakamoto set up low expectations to consider it a success? Or are these really not the numbers that really happen? Especially taking in consideration that sometimes the numbers that Nintendo released out to the public are only for physical copies. And we know that a lot of people are moving away from physical copies. Not me, I'm definitely someone that prefer physical copies in, you know, most cases. But I know a lot of people that bought the game in the 3DS eShop channel, right? Or the Wii U channel, because you can buy the game on the Wii U channel, but you still need to have a 3DS to play it, right? So I wonder, are these really the numbers? Because I heard that Sakamoto or someone said, I don't remember exactly where I heard this, I will need to check where I heard this or read this, but they say that it was well received. So maybe we were received, maybe they were talking more about the actual ratings or the score that, you know, most people gave to the game. But I still don't think that these are the real numbers. I don't know, something doesn't add up to me. And therefore, in case in point, a lot of people are doubting that, you know, since they're using historical data to say that Metroid Dread is not going to sell that much. I'm still doubting that this is the case, and maybe Metroid games have sold more and we just don't know about it. I would like to hear your opinion about this one as well, and please, if you have one, comment down below. That would be great to read and start a conversation about this, because it doesn't add up to me, to be honest. At least for some of these games, it doesn't add up, especially Metroid Samus Returns. As an old Metroid fan, I truly believe that Metroid deserves justice. Hashtag and justice for Samus. The big elephant in the room when it comes to the stuff that I wanted to talk about is Metroid Dread a Game of the Year candidate? Although this YouTube channel is new, I have been paying a close attention to the video game world and industry for basically all my life, especially over these past 6 or 7 years or so. Like many of you guys have, of course. I'm not the only one in this boat, but based on that experience, in my opinion, this year in comparison with previous years, we haven't seen many games that have taken the video game world by a storm, and therefore possible Game of the Year candidates. We have definitely gotten games like Resident Evil 8 Village, which I think definitely is a Game of the Year candidate. Deathloop, which was just released this week and has been getting positive reviews. And we have also gotten other games like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Psychonauts 2. We got a new No More Heroes after many years, Tales of Arise, and we're gonna get upcoming games like Shin Megami Tensei 5, Far Cry 6, which is going to be released on October 7th, Halo Infinite, which is going to be released 2 months after Metroid Dread on December 8th. And of course, I'm definitely not mentioning every single game that has been released this year. For example, Axiom Verge 2 is one that I was personally anticipating for a long time, and it got released this year as well. However, none of these games have caused the level of hype and anticipation that Metroid Dread has. So yeah, is this a Game of the Year candidate and possibly a Game of the Year winner? Definitely a candidate, I think so, especially because all the hype that we have gotten so far. Like, this is the first Metroid where I've seen so many people getting into Metroid, and I'm happy, to be honest. I'm very happy that I'm seeing more and more people into Metroid. I think it deserves it, and I've always thought that even when I play Super Metroid, I always loved Super Metroid because to me, that was what hardcore video gaming was about. I always say that, yeah, Mario is for everybody. And at that point I wasn't very into Zelda until Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. So I didn't have an opinion about Link to the Past. But I'll always say the Metroid series is Nintendo's franchise for the hardcore video gamers, in my opinion. So with all that being said, and case in point, this is the game of the year for me. Of course, we need to play the game. We need to make sure that the game is quality as we think it is based on what we have seen so far. And I don't want to jump too far ahead and say, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be the game of the year, like for sure. I will certainly like to, but it all depends on how good Metroid Dread is released. That we don't find any breaking bugs, that the game is as good as we are expecting it to be at this point. But anyways guys, if you have any opinions about all the topics that I have talked about, please comment down below. I will be more glad to read them and talk about it. Also, as I mentioned before, this is one of the 2 videos I'm planning to do. I'm starting to work on the Shoujo Theories number 2 video, and hopefully we'll release it in a week or so after this video is released. Hopefully everything goes fine. I also wanted to mention along that definitely not going to focus on Metroid stuff all the time. It's just that I'm a huge Metroid fan, and I definitely want to talk about all this stuff before Metroid Dread is released, but I'm planning to make videos about other video game franchises that I love. Also, I'm planning to do other types of videos where I might get more into my retro video game collection. With all that being said, I appreciate if you have watched this whole discussion up to this point. Really appreciate it. If you like this stuff, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.